Welcome to my channel. I know a lot of you are new as of today after my brother, the Stradman, gave me a shout out yesterday. Now, here's a photo of the two of us back when we were kids. And gotta say, it was really generous of him to give me a shout out on this channel. I've been kind of working on it for a while, and it just so happened that I gave him a call when he was filming the other day, and it ended up being the perfect opportunity. Now, all that to say, he's been owing it to me for a while. I had to put up with him for many years. We actually shared a bedroom growing up, and bunk beds together. So I was on the lower bunk, he was on the upper bunk. We actually had these little wood slats under the futon mattress, and I used to, you could basically like slide them apart. And so I'd slide them apart in the middle, push them on one side and the other side so that his mattress would cave in the middle. And then I'd stick my feet up and I'd kick them and push them up and down. So we had some good times, and we've gone on a lot of adventures together. Actually, we've climbed a lot of mountains. We've gone on some long road trips. We went up to Canada. We went down through Southwest America. We've had a lot of good times together, and you guys all know him as the Stradman, but to me, he's always going to be my younger brother and my best friend. Now, wanted to, give you guys a little bit of background on my channel since a lot of you are new to it. Obviously, I don't have a Lamborghini. I have a Lamborghini steering wheel, if you hadn't noticed. This is actually the same steering wheel that he's got in his Lambo, and a lot of the gauges and everything are actually pretty similar too, although this is a 2013. His is older, and so these are kind of the updated version of what you see in his car. There's a good reason for that. You can't see it, but behind me there's a car seat. So I'm kind of the, ooh, got a couple police cars. So I'm kind of the other version of what the Stradman could have been if he'd taken a different direction in life. See, he actually, when he was in high school and college, we always thought that he'd graduate from college, get married right away, have kids, and be set. He actually dated a couple girls, long-term relationships, and neither of those worked out. And then he kind of got into his YouTube thing, and it's taken him another direction. And I know we all know that we're waiting for that Strad girl to come along. And I'm kind of the story of what would have happened if he'd taken a different direction. So I graduated from college, got a job, bought a house, got married, had a baby, and here we are now. Obviously, he's taken a different path, and pretty exciting path to go out and chase his dream, get that Lamborghini, and really see the world. Those are his two passions: are really cool cars and seeing places. He's really kind of an explorer at heart, and it's pretty cool to see that he's been able to be so successful at something that he loves. I never thought growing up that his obsession with cars would get to this point. Now, growing up in our family, he and I actually were both very obsessed with cars, but on different end of the spectrum. He was always into the cool cars, so he loved the exotic cars. Dodge Viper was actually his favorite car growing up, and we used to, when we were driving around town, he would take his camera with him everywhere, and we'd be driving down the street, and he'd see like a Ferrari go by, or a Viper, or a Corvette, or anything that was kind of cool, and he'd like yell to stop the car. He'd open up the door and he'd take off running. And when we got old enough to drive ourselves, it was still the same thing. And so I'd be driving him, and he'd always want to take a little loop through downtown Bend, where we grew up, and where I still live. And we'd go through downtown Bend because that was kind of the hotbed for finding nice cars. And so anytime we were going somewhere, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll go with you, but we have to take a loop through downtown on the way." And sometimes it'd be fine. We'd take a loop through downtown, and then we could go home. Other times we'd see some car, and he'd jump out, go running down the street, and you wouldn't know when you were going to see him again. So it was really cool when he was able to take that passion for cars and turn it into something where he's actually able to make a career out of it. So I mentioned that not only is he obsessed with cars, but I'm also obsessed with cars, but on a very different level. So I grew up riding my bike across town to go look at car dealers. And so I'd go to the Chevy dealer, I'd go to the Honda dealer, I'd go to the Mercedes dealer, and I'd ride all over town, and I'd go to the parking lot and just like look in all the windows and imagine which car I was going to buy when I was old enough to drive a car. And it was funny because I always appreciated the high-end cars like the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, but I never appreciated them the way that James did. And so, you know, I was always into more practical cars, which was great because I've been able to kind of achieve my dream in that same sense. This is a 2013 Audi Q5, and I absolutely love it. To me, I was probably about as excited to get this car as he was to get his Lamborghini. Well, maybe not quite that excited, but pretty close. Now, that's not to say that I wouldn't love to have a Lamborghini or an R8 or something, but I'm really into the outdoors, into skiing and mountain biking, and so I need something that's a little more practical, not to mention I got the baby. So that kind of throws those out of contention. So I've got the Audi Q5, which is actually my wife's primary car, and then I've got a Toyota Tacoma that I use for more practical things. Nice to be able to move things around, do yard work, and, you know, take it up into the mountains when there's a lot of snow. And so those are my two cars right now. However, I've actually owned 17 cars in my life. I'm 30 years old right now, and so if you do the math, since I've had my license, that's more than one car per year, and there was a good gap in there where I was in college and didn't have a car, high school, you know, didn't have much flexibility to buy and sell cars, and so I bought a lot of cars in more recent years. And I just enjoy buying different cars and experiencing them, and just kind of getting the opportunity to drive something different. And so anytime I get a chance to drive something new, I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm actually going to get to that a little bit later in this video and share some ideas with you about kind of the direction that I want to take with my channel next. Now, you know, coming to my channel, it's obviously not the Stradman's channel. I don't have a Lamborghini to draw viewers in, and I don't have the flexibility to go travel the world, even though I would love to. I've got a normal Monday through Friday job. My wife has a job, and then I've got the baby, and so obviously I've got a lot of commitments. But it's kind of cool that it's worked out the way that it has, because, you know, he's really into like going to exotic places and driving exotic cars. I love normal cars, and so I can do that with a normal job and with a family. And so I've kind of been building up my channel a little bit. Obviously my brother inspired me to do that, seeing the success that he's had with that, and you know, given that we both share that passion for cars, it's kind of fun to do the same thing and, you know, get tips and advice from him on, you know, how he's made his channel successful. And so, you know, my channel is obviously focused on what I have available to me. I've got a lot of videos of cars that I've owned or that I currently own, and kind of more basic material. Now, I gotta apologize for those of you that got that shout out, came over to my channel, and you saw that I had a video of how to reset the service light in a Toyota Tacoma. Not something that's gonna draw you in too much, and yet somehow, in the last 24 hours, I still got 600 subscribers. So that obviously, you know, is an indicator of how much you guys love the Stradman, and pretty cool to see that you guys would be willing to support me as his brother in the same way, despite the fact that my videos are nowhere near the quality of his, or, you know, as interesting as what he's got on his channel. And so, thank you guys for coming and giving me a chance. I have a couple more videos in the queue that are about as exciting as the service indicator light. I apologize for that. I'm still going to post them because, you know, that was something that has always been helpful for me if I have an oil change or something. It's nice to be able to look up a video, see how to do that. I know it's not as exciting as driving go-karts around and, you know, going to Tokyo, but, you know, there are people that do appreciate those videos, so feel free to ignore those when you see them come up in the feed. I'm going to have a combination of some of those kind of more boring videos that are just how-tos and things that I like or dislike about my car, but I've got some ideas in the works that I think you're going to find a little bit more exciting to kind of go on top of that. So I've had a long-standing joke with my brother about how YouTube's all about quantity and not about quality. Obviously, that's not true. He's proven that it's important to have high quality videos in order to get a lot of views and to get a lot of subscribers. And, you know, I've kind of always just brushed that aside and thought, well, I've only got, you know, a couple hundred subscribers. It's not worth it to put that kind of time and effort into making high quality videos. And I don't have a lot of time because I've got my job, I've got family, and, you know, our baby is only 5 months old. And so that's taken a huge amount of time and energy to invest in her, and that's going to continue to be my priority. However, now that I'm over 1,000 subscribers, I always kind of thought when I got to that threshold, it would be time to start taking my video quality to the next level. And so that's going to be my goal. I want to start putting some content on my channel that's not just basic how to change the oil, low quality, low light videos, and I want to start making videos that people actually want to watch, or that I would actually want to watch. And so now that I'm over 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to really try to start putting in a little more effort in getting content that people really want to watch, and you know, making the video quality a little better. Now I say that as I'm filming on my cell phone because my GoPro camera just died. So obviously this video is not the beginning of that. Maybe in a week or two I'll get to that point. I've got a few videos in the queue that I still want to post, and so from then on it's going to be all quality. All right. So I bought my first car in 2004 when I was a senior in high school. And honestly, there weren't a lot of cool cars in the under $10,000 price bracket at that point in time. You go back to 2004 and you look at used cars that were on the market, you're pretty much looking at maybe mid-90s and older as far as options that you're going to have available. And there's not a lot of great cars, in my opinion, in that price bracket. Now, my first car was a 1995 Chevy Tahoe, which I actually really did like the car. But looking at cars now that are in that same price point, there are so many better options to choose from if you're, you know, a new driver and you've got about $10,000 to spend on a car. And so what I want to do, coming in the next few weeks, I'm going to begin a series where I'm going to do a search, and I'm going to help you find the coolest car that you can buy for $10,000. Now, we're not talking new cars. New car under $10,000 and cool don't go together. What I'm thinking is I want to find some of the options that are out there for used vehicles for under $10,000, give you an idea of what you can buy for under $10,000, and then hopefully establish what is the coolest car available for under $10,000. So with that said, I'd love to hear some of your feedback. In the comments below, give me your idea of what you think would be the best car that you can get for under $10,000, and then look for more videos in the next few weeks going into kind of a search mode to find the coolest car for under $10,000. If you've got any ideas, again, put those in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching and take care.